So a couple of months ago, I made a video talking about the current states of Marvel and DC, and which I think has a brighter future. Well, consider this the sequel, because I'm going to dive into my updated thoughts, since last time it was before Thunderbolts, Brave New World, and the Superman trailer. So now with all this new information, let's begin. Number 1, releases. Okay, so Brave New World came out in February, and it earned about $400 million, which doesn't make it a flop, but it's not a success either. It's just kind of a movie that came out and performed the absolute sub-limit it needed to. Honestly, I actually kind of liked the movie. However, overall it was met with mediocre reviews and wasn't good enough to get the Marvel hype train back. The same cannot be said though for the next movie, The Thunderbolts, which in 2 weeks already earned $430 million, which means it's already surpassed its budget by over $100 million. And that's not the only thing about this. It's not only doing financially well, but also it was met with spectacular reviews. People saying it's the best Marvel movie in recent years. And honestly, yeah, it's one of the best of Phase 5. Not as good in my opinion as Guardians 3, but around the same level as Deadpool and Wolverine. And rather than writing off cameos, it actually has story-driven plotline. However, now we're going to go out of the film genre and dive more into shows, like Daredevil, Born Again, the long-awaited almost sequel to its original show, Daredevil. Now, it's kind of hard to gauge how much money or how much views the show gets. However, we can always look at the reviews, and yeah, this thing is pretty positive. I mean, it's not as close as it was in the original Daredevil show, but people still loved it and want to see more. Plus, you have to remember that it went through a lot of reshoots, considering the fact that the original team only worked on 3 of the episodes, a new team to work on like 6. It was a whole jumbled thing, but the fact that the project we got was still almost complete and satisfactory, that on its own is an accomplishment. Now you may notice, hey, Film Fanatic, you're talking about a lot of Marvel stuff. Where's my DC things? To be honest with you, we haven't really gotten any films or shows from DC. The only one we've gotten is Creature Commandos. And technically we've also gotten the Penguin, but I'm trying to focus more on the DCU. So, how was Creature Commandos? Well, like Daredevil Born Again, it was a show, so we can't really see how much money it earned, but it must have earned some because it's getting renewed for a second season. And also, it came out with great reviews. In fact, if you want to, I actually have a video reviewing it on my channel, so you should go check that out. However, in this video, we're here to focus on the future of the cinematic universes, not the past or the present. So let's move on to the trailers that show us sneak peeks of what we'll be getting in the coming months. Fantastic Four! This trailer, pretty awesome. I think this will easily be the best Fantastic Four movie. It has a chance to do that. I think that they picked the perfect actors. I know, sue me. People say John Krasinski should be, Mr. Fantastic. He may look more like him than Pedro Pascal, but he can't act as well as Pedro Pascal. Hate to throw that one out there. Fantastic Four, from what little we've seen, honestly feels like it will just be a fun movie. And it's gonna give Superman and Jurassic World a run for its money, especially because of the Marvel tagline coming off the heels of Thunderbolts. And speaking of which, the Fantastic Four credit scene in Thunderbolts was very good. If only they hadn't credited Michael Giacchino right before they showed it, but it's fine. Overall, super hyped for the Fantastic Four. Next we have Ironheart, which a lot of people seem to be very, negative towards for seemingly no reason. I honestly don't know that much about it. When the trailer came out a couple days ago, I was like, oh, okay. Because I had no idea this was even coming out. But yeah, it's coming out like June 24th, I think. And so I'll watch it, not with super high hopes, but I'm sure that it will be something. I mean, obviously Kevin Feige said the shows are going to stay more in their own realm and not impact the movies as much. So we won't have to worry about everyone watching this. I feel like this will just be another side show that might, be a little fun watch, but won't heavily impact the rest of the Marvel Universe. Do I think it'll be good? I have no idea. I honestly don't know what to think of it. Ryan Coogler helped make it, but he was a producer, not necessarily writing or directing. And the rest of the people I haven't really heard of. I honestly forgot Ironheart was in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So this one's just really a shot in the dark for me. However, one that I know a lot about is the Superman movie, which released its first official trailer last week, though we had a few teasers and sneak peeks. And wow, if you've been on the internet about this thing, it has hype. Peak. We can trust the people they're working on, even the editors, like we know from other projects, So it seems like every detail. The cast, from what little we've seen, are killing it. And personally, this is something I haven't really talked about in my other videos. I think the color grading and just the way it's shot is so James Gunn unique that I actually really like it. I know it's not typical for every movie, but honestly, I think it's gonna make it fun. And plus the action sequences, not cutting when they're fighting, just letting it show and breathe. That's awesome. Super excited for this movie. I have loads of videos on the channel of me talking about it, which you can go check out. And yeah, there's not much other to say than this movie is hopefully gonna rock. Now though, I want to move into the future potential of movies that haven't had trailers or released yet. Just films that we know are coming out. So this time, shocker, I'm gonna start with DC. Okay, so we have the Lanterns show, which I'm pretty sure is wrapped filming. I'm not entirely sure about that. Shows obviously take a while to film. Kyle Chandler, I don't really know. I know a lot of people like him from that football show he was in. However, Aaron Pierre was awesome in Rebel Ridge, so I trust him. And I'm just really excited for the show, dude. We haven't had a good Lanterns thing ever, unless you count that Ryan Reynolds movie, but I don't count that. Super hyped for this show, and the fact that it's based in True Detective, it's just pure genius. We'll have to see how they execute it, especially since my biggest fear with it is that they're not going to show enough Green Lantern. It's going to be too much based on Earth, but who knows? We'll see. We also got Supergirl, which we actually got some set photos of, and it's too hard to tell, but I think the suit looks good. I think Jason Momoa's Lobo, if that's who that was, looks great. Super excited for that. That honestly might be my favorite part of the movie. And overall, it's just good that they're actually adapting comics, which is something we don't really see a whole lot of in live action form, but no, they're actually going to do it. So that's going to be, honestly, pretty hype. The final DC project I want to talk about is Clayface, because this one's a unique one, because instead of being your typical superhero movie, it's about a villain, and it's almost a lower budget horror film. Though I say low budget, it does have a budget of $40 million, so they will be able to pull off the VFX. I think, honestly, this will be a good movie, a great movie, and even, all the people they've announced, Mike Flanagan working on the script, heck yeah, give it to me. However, we don't want this to tarnish DC's brand, because one fear I have is that not everyone's going to think, oh, well, Marvel, everything's connected and the same, so this must be true for DC. So when they see a horror movie being promoted with the DC logo on it, they're going to be like, what? However, hopefully James Gunn will make it clear that different projects don't always connect, but they are all their own separate thing, with their own vibes, own characters. And that's my big fear, is that the general audience won't recognize that. And it might remove a whole generation of people from watching DC. For Marvel, I want to talk about these two in succession, because they're very similar. The Avengers movie. The next year for Marvel is either going to be really good or really bad, because they have some big films. But these Avengers movies in particular, they're going to have a lot of cameos from what we've heard. Yeah, they've announced the actors. Only fear is that they have 40 main characters, and somehow they want to develop them in all in 2 movies. I just don't know if that's possible. This is more than Endgame. I think the movie will make a lot of money. And I think the movie will be like No Way Home and Deadpool Wolverine. Every time you rewatch it, it gets a little bit worse, because they're having to sacrifice a lot of storytelling and quality to cameos and money-making strategy. So yes, I think they'll win money-wise, but critically, probably not. It just depends. The Russo brothers, everything they've touched with Marvel has been spectacular, but everything outside of that has been mid to terrible. There's also rumored that Spider-Man 4, Brand New Day, will come out next year. And I have no idea what to make of this movie. We don't even know what it's about, really. It would be a multiverse story, grounded story. I mean, they're filming in London, I think, or Paris or something. But that might not actually be like they're going to that country. They might just be doing that. I have no idea. I'm ready to hear more about the movie. It's even more confusing when they threw Sadie Sink in there and it's like, yeah, she's in the movie. Like, who is she playing, brother? I don't know. I have faith in it. I like the director who did Shang-Chi. Just we know nothing. Here's to the future of Marvel and DC. Overall, which do I think will prevail? Well, I think when it comes to what they've released, unfortunately, Marvel does have Creature Commandos beat because they've released more, and even though one of their projects was kind of mid, the other two, were able to beat Creature Commandos. So they win with what they released. Where it comes to trailers, though, gotta give it to Superman. I mean, that trailer already has more views than Fantastic Four. People are really excited for this movie, which you can't really say about a DC film in a while. So that's definitely winning the trailer thing. Sorry, Fantastic Four and Ironheart. When it comes to potential, though, I gotta give it a tie. Looks like Marvel's gonna have the bigger movie, but DC will have the better. So it just depends how it will all phase out. Anyways, that's my thoughts. I'm sure they will change in the near future, but I hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Wallet.